Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Monday, the 11th of December. India, China and Russia vow to boost maritime trade, fight terrorism. Pakistan's finance minister declared proclaimed offender in corruption case. And Sindhi and Baloch activists hold anti-Pakistan protest in London. And now for all the details. 3 militants were gunned down by security forces in Handwara town of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province on Monday. A civilian was also reportedly killed in the crossfiring that continued overnight.
Security forces gunned down 3 militants on Monday in an encounter that went on overnight in Handwara town of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province. Security forces and police launched a joint cordon and search operation in a village of Handwara following a tip-off about the presence of militants of Pakistan-based Lashkar-e-Taiba or LET. The search operation turned into an encounter as the hiding militants fired upon the forces. A civilian was also reportedly killed in the crossfiring. New Delhi accuses Islamabad of training and arming militants and helping them infiltrate across the line of control or LOC, a de facto border that divides Kashmir. Pakistan denies those allegations.
India, China and Russia on Monday vowed to boost trade and fight terrorism together. This was reiterated during the 15th meeting of the foreign ministers of the three countries in Indian capital, New Delhi.
India, China and Russia on Monday agreed to support freedom of navigation in an effort to boost maritime trade and called on joint efforts to tackle terrorism. This was reiterated during the 15th meeting of the foreign ministers of Russia, India and China, also known as the RIC in New Delhi. Foreign Minister of China, Wang Yi, and his Russian counterpart, Sergei Lavrov, recognized the growing importance of maritime trade based on the principles of international law during the trilateral meeting with Indian Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj. While delivering a joint statement, the ministers also called for swift and effective implementation of existing international commitments on countering terrorism.
जैसे दाइश, जिसे ISIS भी कहते हैं, Al-Qaeda, लश्कर-ए-तैयबा आदि के आतंकी कारनामों में बढ़ोतरी अंतर्राष्ट्रीय शांति और सुरक्षा के प्रयासों को प्रभावित कर रही है और वैश्विक अर्थव्यवस्था को मजबूत करने और टिकाऊ विकास को सुनिश्चित करने की हमारी कोशिशों को धक्का पहुंचा रही है। भारत वैश्विक आतंकवाद से निपटने के लिए एक व्यापक नीति बनाने की पुरजोर सिफारिश करता है। इस नीति से
Earlier in the day, Swaraj also held separate bilateral meetings with her Russian and Chinese counterparts. Reportedly, the RIC meeting was scheduled for April this year, but was postponed as the Chinese foreign minister could not confirm his participation.
Rahul Gandhi has been elected unopposed as India's main opposition Congress president, the party's Central Election Authority had announced on Monday. The 47-year-old scion of the Nehru-Gandhi family was the lone candidate in the fray. He has become the 6th member of the Nehru-Gandhi family to take over the top post, succeeding his mother Sonia Gandhi, who remained in the post for good 19 years. The party's election authority received a total of 89 nomination papers proposing Rahul Gandhi's name for the top post. He will now collect the certificate formally declaring his accession to the post on December 16th.
I hereby declare Sri Rahul Gandhi elected as the President of the Indian National Congress. This is a historic occasion. The handing over of certificate of election as Congress President is scheduled to be held on 16th December 2017.
And in news from Pakistan, an accountability court on Monday declared Pakistan's finance minister Ishaq Dar a proclaimed offender in a corruption reference filed against him. The court announced its order due to Dar's continued absence from the proceedings. He has skipped the last 6 hearings of the case owing to his medical treatment in London. The court had earlier declared him an absconder on November 21st in the case filed by the National Accountability Bureau, or NAB. On Monday, Dar's counsel submitted his fresh medical report in court and pleaded for delaying the declaration, which was reserved in the last hearing. However, the plea was opposed by NAB's special prosecutor, and the court announced Dar a proclaimed offender. The next hearing in the case is scheduled to be held on December 20th. And moving on, anti-Pakistan protests were held in London on Sunday by Baloch and Sindhi activists against atrocities by Pakistani forces on their people. The protesters highlighted that extrajudicial killings of political and human rights defenders have become a norm by Pakistani security agencies, which are operating with impunity.
Sindhi and Baloch activists on Sunday held a joint protest in London City against atrocities and human rights violations perpetrated on their people by Pakistan. The event was organized by the Sindhi Baloch Forum in collaboration with organizations including the World Baloch Organization, Baloch National Movement and World Sindhi Congress. The protesters raised slogans and highlighted issues of enforced disappearances, torture and extrajudicial killings by Pakistani forces. They also voiced their concerns against the multi-billion-dollar China-Pakistan Economic Corridor or CPEC project. They claimed the infrastructure project is exploiting natural resources in Balochistan and Sindh. The protesters requested the international community to intervene and press upon Pakistan to stop the atrocities against Baloch and Sindhi people.
In news from Afghanistan, Afghan Chief Executive Abdullah Abdullah on Sunday vowed not to backtrack on women's rights. He said the Afghan government will not create hurdles in the way of the women's progress and will never compromise on the rights in the country.
Afghanistan's Chief Executive Abdullah Abdullah on Sunday said the government will not create any hurdles in the way of the improvement of women in the peace process. He made the remarks at a seminar on women's role in governance in Afghan capital Kabul city. On the peace negotiation process between the Afghan government and the Taliban, Abdullah said there are no clear indications on Taliban's willingness to come for the peace talks.
اگر یک روز به این برسیم که اونا حاضر به مذاکره جدی باشن و بگوین که ما در کشور بیرونی نمیخوایم دفتر داشته باشیم، میخوایم مذاکره کنیم برای صلح در پایتخت افغانستان. من فکر میکنم برای این باید مانع وجود نداشته باشه. یعنی از لحاظ نظر میگم، اما فعلا ما در این مرحله نیستیم. اونا هنوز این عزم و اراده را برای وارد شدن برای مذاکره نشان ندادن متاسفانه.
Abdullah, however, reiterated that the door for peace will remain open to all insurgent groups, including the Taliban. His comments come few days after the Afghan High Peace Council announced opening of an office for the Taliban in Kabul to bring the resurgent group to the peace table.
Around 207 fishermen stranded at Lashkar-e-Taiba Islands due to Cyclone Oki reached India's southern port city of Kochi on Sunday. The fishermen were rescued during joint operations by the Indian Navy and the Indian Coast Guard.
Around 207 fishermen who were stuck at Lashkar-e-Taiba Islands due to Cyclone Oki reached India's southern port city of Kochi on Sunday. The fishermen were rescued by the combined efforts of the Indian Navy and Indian Coast Guard from the Lashkar-e-Taiba Islands. After the rescue, 16 fishermen were admitted for checkup in a general hospital.
Today 16 fishermen were brought who were stranded in Lashkar-e-Taiba. They were brought here today. Out of that, 14 people are completely stable. We assessed them and judged them fit to be fit for discharge now itself, so they will be taken.
As many as 95 fishermen are still believed to be missing and rescue operations are still underway. Cyclone Oki claimed nearly 40 lives and left hundreds missing as it ravaged neighbouring provinces of Kerala and Tamil Nadu last week.
Tibetan community living in exile in India on Sunday celebrated the 28th anniversary of the conferment of Nobel Peace Prize on their spiritual leader Dalai Lama. Special prayers, music and dance performances were held to mark the occasion.
Hundreds of Tibetans in exile congregated in India's northern Dharamshala town to mark the 28th anniversary of the conferment of Nobel Peace Prize on their spiritual leader Dalai Lama. Organized by the Central Tibetan Administration, their celebrations included special prayers, music and dance performances. Devotees from all walks of life, including Buddhist monks and members of Tibetan Parliament in exile, participated in the event.
We are celebrating this day with great pomp and show. This has a great significance because this is a recognition of His Holiness' untiring work for humanity, not only for humanity but also for all the voiceless people who are struggling to get their voice heard by the world leadership, to come into dialogue and solve the conflict between different nationalities.
Similar scenes were seen in India's eastern Siliguri city as Tibetans thronged monasteries to offer prayers on the occasion. They also lit up earthen lamps to pay respects to the spiritual leader. Dalai Lama, who won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1989, fled into exile in India in 1959 after an abortive uprising against Chinese rule. He has since lived mostly in Dharamshala in the northern province of Himachal Pradesh.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. India, China and Russia vow to boost maritime trade, fight terrorism. Pakistan's finance minister proclaimed offender in corruption case. And Sindhi and Baloch activists hold anti-Pakistan protest in London. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/Asia Newsline and follow us on Twitter @Asia Newsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.